boy Rob, coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers. Drop your boy a comment, watch it all the way through to the end, and hit the links at the end of the video. All right, so what we got here is another Abba and Preach video. And it happens to be an excerpt from Abba's appearance and Preach's call-in appearance on a Fresh and Fit live stream. All right. Now, the reason I chose to do this is for a couple of reasons. For one, because Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit together is hot. It's bringing views and bringing subscriptions. I ain't about to sit up here in front. You know what I'm saying? But this topic is very interesting. And the reason why this topic is very interesting is because it coincides with the video that I watched on Stoicism. Or I'm sorry, the video that I produced on Stoicism. All right. And the question that I asked in that video on Stoicism, for one, is do you know what it is? If you know what Stoicism is, type it into the comments. All right. But in my opinion, this video coincides with that because the title of this video is Why You May Feel Lost in Life. And success doesn't fix everything. Money and success doesn't fix everything. Now, I'm not going to say anything about how this relates to Stoicism. All right. What I want you to do is make sure that you've watched my video on Stoicism. Then watch this video and see if you yourself can draw the links, and we'll discuss it in the comments. All right. And if you're watching this video, if you're cheating and you're watching this video before you watch the video on Stoicism, maybe the people in the live stream chat will be nice enough to explain and lead you into the right direction. All right. So before I get started on this video, I want to ask, do you believe that money and success do or do not fix everything? Me personally, I don't think that they do. I do think that they can help. I do think that they contribute, but they are not an end all, be all cure for whatever ailments that you may be facing while navigating through the sea of life. All right. So let's actually get started on this video and see exactly what is popping off, shall we?
So, Abba, Pre, what are your views on the current dating market? And do you join into the current market or are you out of it?
That's a good question. What are your current views on the dating market? If you watched my video that I did that was a response to a Sam Vaknin video, Sam Vaknin said that we are currently in a post-apocalyptic relationship period. I kind of believe that. However, I do believe that there are good people out there and that there are people out there who are looking for relationships. And I do believe that there are some people, a lot of people, who do not have the expectations misconstrued. And I believe that those people are out there and they're receptive and they're able to be found. So that's just my take on it, but I need to know how you guys feel.
Okay, I want to say two things. I be watching these videos on YouTube and I'm like, where y'all meet these women? You feel what I'm saying? I'm not even going to front you. It's not even like a disrespectful. It's like some of these people that be coming on the lives and stuff like that. Just from my personal experience, when I was dating in Los Angeles or when I was dating in Canada, for me, it wasn't like that. It wasn't that extreme. But I also filter out a lot of women who I'm like, this is a waste of time. I could just tell by the pictures you choose and what you like to promote on Instagram that like character is probably not your priority. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I go on a girl's IG.
It's always interesting when people ask a question and then the question never gets asked. Remember, I'm going to run this back too so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Fresh Prince CEO asked Abba, how does he feel about the current dating market? And Abba never answered the question. He just basically gave some testimony about his experience about the dating market, but he didn't answer the question directly. Now, we all have come to the conclusion that Abba is an intelligent individual. Do you believe that that was strategic to allow him some wiggle room? Or do you believe that he might have just missed the question and we could possibly be looking too deep into it? Let me know.
So, Abba, Preach, what are your views on the current dating market? And do you join into the current market or are you out of it?
Okay, I want to say two things. I be watching these videos on YouTube, and I'm like, where y'all meet these women? You feel what I'm saying? I'm not even going to front. It's not even like a disrespectful. It's like some of these people that be coming on the lives and stuff like that. Just from my personal experience, when I was dating in Los Angeles or when I was dating in Canada, for me, it wasn't like that. It wasn't that extreme. But I also filter out a lot of women who I'm like, this is a waste of time. I could just tell by the pictures you choose and what you like to promote on Instagram that like character's probably not.
Now, my question for everybody that's watching this is, do you have filters? Do you filter out people, men and women? And what are your filters? What is something that's an automatic no for men and for women? I need to know that.
Your priority. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, like if I go on a girl's IG page and just a bunch of thong pinks with her titty popping out and her with like diamond jewels, we don't share the same values. So I'm not gonna miss it. The same way, if I look at some guy and he was standing beside jets and Lambos and hoods up, I'm probably like, that's not the kind of person I want to hang with. Filter out folks based off of your values and how they present themselves. Maybe there is.
Ironically, you went down to somebody's podcast who was standing next to a jet. Just saying though, you know what I mean?
Instagram is not an indication of who they are, and that's fair. But if you go really hard to portray something, that tells me something about you. So there's sometimes where I'm watching these videos.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that, man. I remember back in the day, when I was a kid, they used to call people like that posers. You remember that? Posers. It's because you're posing as something that you're not. You know what I mean? And you know, that translates into like hip hop and different things like that. It's, you know, it's what people will call like a studio gangster. You know what I'm saying? Are you fake thugging? Are you fronting? You feel what I'm saying? That's never a good look. You know, people should always try to keep it as authentic as possible, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think everybody does a level of fronting. However, when the fronting is extreme, that's when you kind of run into problems. That kind of tends to go down that rabbit hole of materialism. Kind of starts, you know, making a left on the corner of materialism and narcissism, if you know what I mean. I think people are best when they represent themselves as who and what they actually are. You know what I mean? Even if it's something that you may not feel that people may like, you never know. I think that people tend to value authenticity more so than they value whatever symbol or whatever it is that you may want to represent. They value the being genuine. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things that people really enjoy about Abba and Preach. And it's one of the reasons I think that they continue to maintain such a diverse audience as well. Because a lot of people have their strong opinions, but at the same time, there is a segment of the population that does not like to be in an echo chamber. There are some people that do have the courage to be able to test their ideas against the ideas that other people have while still maintaining civility. And, you know, that can be in a situation with a relationship. Me and my girlfriend, we don't agree on everything at all. We have a lot of things that we disagree on. However, we love each other and our love supersedes our disagreements. Our love actually allows us to be able to sit down and appreciate our differences. You feel what I'm saying? That is extremely important. I think that that's one of the things that's lacking, not only in relationships these days, but also in society as a whole. You know what I mean? It's one of the reasons why you see increased effort at attempting to manage speech and manage thought. You know, just food for thought. What do you guys think?
Videos, and I'm just like, Shorty's bugging, but I would have never figured it out because I would have extra well before we even get to the spot. You know what I mean?
Damn.
If homegirl's waiting for me to pull up in a Tesla and take her somewhere, she's probably not the girl for me. You mean? Even though I got the money for it,
Yeah.
It's not how I would roll in because I'm like, you in it for the wrong reasons. So I don't even mess with people who move different like that. I don't lead with the Tesla. I don't lead
Facts.
with all that stuff. That's
Yep.
not the way I do it.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't even attract people who are into that. People look at me like, this man look like you ain't got money. Good, think that.
Yeah,
Think that.
facts.
Because right now I'm coming with game. So either you in or you not. But if you tell me it's because I got this car that you in, then we're not supposed to be vibing because already I can already tell your mindset isn't someone I want to be around. Not even to say like, I wouldn't even want to smash.
Yeah.
Because like, what does it mean when you let somebody who's just after the money inside your home around your private possession? Do you know how many times dudes take back girls from drunk hookups and get robbed afterwards? They get the quick little quaalude, go to sleep, get their whole place robbed.
He said quick little quaalude. Yeah, man, but that actually happens though. That's not outside the realm of possibility. I've heard about that happening a lot. And that's what you get when you deal with people that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand, like, how long does it take, or is there some kind of period of rapport that needs to be built? See, one of the things that's the problem in today's society is that we have a culture of immediate gratification. You know what I mean? And in that culture of immediate gratification, there's no time to learn anything. There's no time to understand anybody. And you know what I mean? You could literally be letting somebody into your house that really wants to do some harm to you. You could really be letting somebody in that wants to do some harm to you. You have a moral obligation to yourself to keep yourself safe, and also to do proper investigation, vet, background, whatever, to make sure that this is a person who you actually want to be around, who's not going to cause harm to you. I think that people are so fixated on results, or so fixated on outcomes, that, you know, they don't take the time that's necessary to properly have situational awareness, which again is one of the things that in this little saga per se has been put to task many times. You know what I mean?
Understand how you attract these people is oftentimes going to lead to the outcomes that you receive.
If you try to attract women with cheese, you're going to end up with rats.
That's a good bar.
Bars.
I need to stop the show. That was a good bar.
Listen.
Listen. I ain't even mad, bro. That was a good bar.
It's a pretty good bar.
Can we just take a second?
Let's take a second. Even I like, goddamn.
Is that yours?
I don't think it is.
No.
It's too good to be mine.
It's too good, right?
No. I'm not going to fake that shit.
Somebody Google it.
Somebody go Google that shit, because that's not my bar.
Did anybody ever Google that and see if he made that up? I could see him making that up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, good ideas just come.
That is not my bar. I must have heard it already.
But you know what's crazy?
What?
If it was, I also wouldn't be surprised.
But I'm going to be humble enough to be... No, I can't be my... Nah, I don't think I produced that. I'm going to be humble enough. Google it. It's probably out there.
If you did come up with it, the lock's about to call you.
I don't... I didn't. No, it's not my bar.
What do you mean when someone like that gets jaded and angry and they're just after material possession? They don't have character. Well, that's where things go south very fast. You know, the luxury I have is like, most of my dating experiences are very positive because I try to go for people who are not in it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? If they want to smash, they're there for the right reasons. If they want to hang out or date, they're there for the right reasons. So for me, I avoided a lot of negative stuff because of the fact that I didn't go for people who were into that. I mean, you got guys who get robbed. You got dudes who get fleeced for all their money. And like, how did that happen? Part of it is also like, who are the people you're choosing? You know, if we come after women and we say, oh yeah, this man left you for this and that reason, why did you pick him? We also have to look at men and say, well, what were you advertising when you try to pull her in?
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that goes for men and women. What were you advertising when you tried to pull her in? And that's one of the problems with being fake. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't be your real authentic self, what you're advertising to somebody is not really what that person is going to get. So that could turn around and lead to a toxic situation. It could turn around and lead to, you know, a bad breakup or something like that. I think that everybody does a little bit of, you know, faking the funk when they first meet somebody they like, because there's always a little element of putting your best foot forward that has to do with somewhat of, you know, inauthenticity. Because the facts of the matter is that, you know, as good of a person as you may be, when you put your best foot forward, you're not operating on best foot forward mode 90% of the time. So if somebody meets you and they're like, man, this person is great, like all the time, you have to compensate for that period where they might be not having a good day, or that period where, you know, they may not look the best, or that period when they may be sick, or when they may have an attitude. And you have to be able to deal with that as well. If you go into the relationship, or if you go into meeting somebody, or any kind of, you know, relationship, or any kind of rapport situation, a business arrangement or whatever, and you think that things are going to be how they are as presented 90 to 100% of the time, you're setting yourself up for a severe disappointment. You know what I mean? Now, it's not out of the realms of expectation to expect best foot forward behavior or best foot forward presentation to be the majority of what you witness. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that all the time. So this is why it's important to have realistic expectations. And that's one of the problems that we have currently in the market is that people's expectations are incorrect because of this social media culture where everybody is showing all of these things. Everybody's in perfect shape. Everybody's happy all the time. Everybody's always on vacation. Everybody's always around somewhere with some nice looking drinks and where some palm trees and nice sunshine is. That's not how it's always going to be. What about them times when you broke? What about them times when y'all just can't get along? Are you just going to walk away from each other because the outside situation is causing too much stress? And with the way that the outside situation is and the way that you both are reacting negatively to the stress, is that too much? Is that going to break y'all? Or do you have a strong enough bond with that person? Have you accepted that person? And have you accepted the understanding that you're going to be with this person regardless of what? So even as bad as things may be, you're still going to be there because you know that you're going to work as hard as that other person is going to work to together bring you guys out of that situation. Which one you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing is like nobody is perfect, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest, man. Like I can be rude. I'm a grouch. I'm impatient. I'm constantly in a rush. I'm task oriented. I'm a perfectionist. I got all kinds of negative traits. All kinds of negative traits. I get angry. You know what I mean? I got a temper. You know, I'm very sarcastic. I'm not very welcoming at times. I say some very snide remarks, you know what I mean? But my girlfriend knows that I love her, and she knows that I actually, inside of all of that stupidity and inside of all of those layers of ridiculousness that I have around me, I have a really good heart. And that really good heart that I have is really dedicated to making sure that she knows that she's loved and that she is, you know, secure with me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when it comes to relationship dating nowadays, especially with the younger generations, I don't think people take that much time to be able to hit those core points on the inside of each other to understand how to navigate difficult situations when things may not always be good. You have to go through that. If you don't go through that, if you just play Matchmaker USA, I don't really see things going very well or being very long-term or sustainable. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys agree or disagree with that, let me know. You know what I mean?
This is like the prime mistake that dudes who are like virgins or simps or whatever make when they get money is they think, because, you know, you give them advice like, yo, listen, work on yourself, and your confidence, work on your physique and things like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that once you get it, all of a sudden you're posing shirtless everywhere. It doesn't mean that once you get the money, all of a sudden you got pictures that what these things do, the byproduct of these things is they're supposed to hand you some sense of confidence. You have these accomplishments in life. You can provide certain things, so symbolically they matter.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you lead with that, because then it just sounds like other than these things, anything else. It's about how you get there and the work that you have to put in and what kind of character develops. You know, when you get to be the CEO of some company, it's not like you were just some virgin overnight and then you turn into that. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that. It's the byproduct of that.
Yeah, exactly. There's an experience curve. And also that experience curve comes with knowing your partner or knowing the person that you're trying to build a relationship with. With me, I have certain triggers. I have certain warnings. And, you know, my girlfriend can kind of look at me. She could look at my facial expression. She could look at how I'm walking. She could look at what I'm doing. And she'd be like, you know, this, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Today might be kind of a weird day because he's kind of on that dumb shit. So, you know, I'm gonna deal with his ass accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I keep my distance. You know what I'm saying? He start talking shit, I'm gonna snap at his ass and get him back into shape the way that he needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, it's likewise, you know, with me and her. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of tell, like, you know, today might be a rough one. You know what I mean? But that's how you really know if you love somebody or not, because you have to be around the person to be able to have an experience curve around them to where you can kind of understand, like, okay, I see today, you know, she may be in a bad mood, or she may be kind of depressed, or she may be thinking about some things. And likewise with her, she may be like, oh, he might be upset about something. I know something didn't go right. You know, I'm going to have to deal with that. And you already have pre-programmed methods and ways of dealing with those things because y'all took the time to be around each other and to endure those difficult times instead of just like, I'm not dealing with this. You're not going to find somebody that's perfect 100% of the time. That's not possible. You know what I'm saying? If you think that I'm sitting up here like trying to sit here and preach to y'all and tell y'all that like I'm the best person in the world, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true at all. That's why anytime I talk about my relationship or anytime I talk about me and my girlfriend, I say puts up with me. Yes, my girlfriend loves me, but she also puts up with me because I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? There's stuff that she puts up with. She may love me, but I know for a fact because I am me. I know she don't love every single aspect of the negative things that come with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a given. And people should be at that much of a peace and understanding with themselves. Where is if somebody does indeed love you, love is a negotiation. So that means that they're willing to weather the storm when things are not the easiest. I don't think that in the society that we live in today, people are willing to do that. And that's because of the immediate gratification culture. People expect things how they want it, when they want it, now. And that's not how it works. You're not going to have a perfect relationship now. And a perfect relationship isn't even one that's just a relationship utopia. That's just some nonsense. That's just some fairy tale stuff that you see on TV. Nobody's going to get along 100% of the time, and nobody's going to agree on everything 100% of the time. So, you know, again, I think it has to do with expectations management.
Success that drives a lot of people too. That's why there's some niggas out there who got no money, but because they got the game that comes from that experience, they can still pull. What do you think about what I said?
It was what it was. You said it all. I mean, there's nothing much to add. It's really that. Yeah. And especially if you're not about that life, you know, that's what you advertise. And if you're about that life, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. If you have all those possessions, good. But know what, corny line, more money, more problems.
That's some real shit.
It's actually more money, different problems. If you showcase it, it's not more problems. It's definitely different problems.
Right.
I'm not going to have the same problems as a homeless person, but I'm going to have the same problems as someone with money. And if I display it like that, there's money like that, but I can at least back it up. Lawsuits, all those big stars that have money like that, money like that, don't display it. But they do have a special account for all those lawsuits because people know they have money.
And when it comes to that kind of thing, when you're dealing with money, you got to understand most people that have money are looked at in an envious way by people that don't have money. So that means that, you know, you run the possibility that sometimes people are always out to get you. You know what I'm saying? People are always out to take what you got. If you have money, you know what I'm saying? You have people like that Brittany. I forget what her name. I think it's like Brittany Renner or something like that. That could possibly be trying to lock you down so that she could turn your bank account into her annuity / perpetuity. You know what I mean? So you got to deal with that. That's one of the reasons why, in my opinion, it's so important, man. It's so important. I'm so grateful that I have my girlfriend. You know what I mean? I'm not even about to sit up here in front. I'm not about to sit up here and like act like, oh yeah, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm currently working and trying to improve. And my girlfriend is here with me and she is supportive of me. You know what I mean? Like we get into a fight or whatever, it don't matter. She's still supportive of me. I can still, regardless of what happens, I can still count on a baseline level of support from her. And I'm not rich, you know what I mean? I'm not affluent. I'm not like, you know, no high value motherfucker. I'm not none of that. You know what I mean? I'm just an average, everyday, regular dude. That's it. You know what I mean? There's no more, no less. But I have somebody that sees value in me. And she can't see value in my money because it's virtually non-existent. What she sees value in is my potential, and she sees value in, you know, the way that I care about her, which means that with that investment that she's making in me, when I am at that level of success where I can be considered a high value man, guess what? Guess who for the most part, I don't have to worry about another person attempting to try to take advantage of me. Because this is somebody you've been there with me at my worst. So I don't have to worry about you trying to flip. I mean, there's always a potential, you know what I mean? Like you can never really control what everybody or anybody does, but the most likely outcome, you know what I mean? The most likely outcome being as mathematically fair to probability and statistics as I can be is if this person didn't flip on you while you were down, the person definitely for the most part, is not going to flip on you while you're up. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. So that's why when you're building, if you're building with somebody in those initial stages of going through the hardships and those initial tests, trials, and tribulations, if you have somebody that has gone through that with you, it immensely decreases the probability of you having to worry about betrayal later on in your life after success comes. Once success comes, you have to make sure that you, as the person who is the breadwinner, you don't flip. You don't flip after this other person has been with you through all of that stress and struggles and strife and trials and tribulations. Don't you start acting brand new or funny once you get to a level of success because you've never had that kind of success or those kind of resources before. You need to make sure you keep it real, because 9 times out of 10, in my opinion, in that situation, it's most likely not that the partner will flip, but it's the individual who reaches that level of success. That person is most vulnerable to be the one who betrays. Let me know if you guys agree with me on that.
And they don't even display it. Now imagine if you have money and you display it like that. You put yourself in that position. You don't have the money. You fake that you have all that money, but you put yourself in the position of that. Try to attract women with cheese.
You know, this is a matter of character development. And it's not even just about talking to ladies. It's just about doing difficult things in life in general. For me, military wasn't for me. But you know what it was great for? Just developing as a person. That adversity shapes you. I was not used to that environment. It was very weird for me to have to wake up at that time, put on my uniform, make sure my kid is all perfect, have to rush eating. Like, I got habits and shit from the military that I'm never going to let go of. It's just ingrained in me through that experience, and some would even say trauma. Okay?
Well, you let go of the bed at 45. What the fuck is this?
Oh, I'm done. Listen, those whole 6 a.m. runs, we do it for a bit.
I know.
And then after I'm like, you think I'm waking up before the sun? Fuck that. Listen.
I know.
Okay?
I did it in the cadets too.
Eating fast, I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't. People are like, well, how'd you finish? Someone said to me, oh.
Now, see, that's true, man, because I've worked night shift for a long time, and like being up at night is just ingrained in me now. It's never gonna change. I'm gonna always, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to always be up at night. Eating fast, that's another thing, because in my career, at my job, I have to eat super fast. I stand up all the time. You know what I mean? Like, all of those kind of things. It is things that are serial habit, and you know, things that you do constantly and routinely, and you do them over a long period of time. They absolutely become ingrained activity into, you know, your daily routine. That's a fact.
I'm sorry, because we were having dinner. It's like, oh, Ab, I'm so sorry. I eat slow. I'm like, no, bitch, I eat fast. It's a me problem. I know it's a me problem. I look at my plate and I'm like, where did my food go? Do you understand how fast?
was this dude at the restaurant? Did he turn around and say, no, bitch? Like, did he do that?
You have to eat?
You know.
Because you know what it's like when your sergeant screaming at you, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. You rushing through the line to just get what you can eat. I used to stuff like little snacks and shit like that in my pockets and hide them. You're not allowed to take it out of the mess hall. But you already know your boy was
gotta do it.
Yeah, everyone was. Yeah. If you look in enough members' pockets, I guarantee you're going to find crumbs or something. But but all this to say, all that experience in life, it makes you develop as a person. Because, like, here's what happens, right? You deal with something difficult, a difficult situation. For example, okay, you get your first paycheck. You've never seen $22,000 in your life, all right? Your mom has supported you forever, but y'all are distant. You're not talking anymore. Your boys want to go out and party. You've never seen this kind of money. You got choices to make now. Where are you going to put that cash? You're going to support the mom that's not talking to you, but she's been at you. You want to go to the boys and party. You're going to split it evenly. You're going to save it in your account. You have to start making harder choices. A man comes up to you and smacks you in your face. Why did he do it? Because he doesn't like Arab folks. Okay? Now you have choices to make. How are you going to respond? You're going to bitch out? You're going to catch him slipping when he's by himself? Or are you going to fight him in front of everybody and potentially take an L and risk it all? You got choices to make. Right?
See, and that's funny that he mentioned that, because that's what I be telling people, man. Your decision-making process is very important. So one of the things that people need to start focusing more on, instead of outcomes, is focusing on the thought process that leads you to how you make your decisions, which those decisions will in turn increase the probability of achieving a favorable outcome.
And when you're faced with these choices, that's when your character starts to develop, because you're literally building your story as you go. as you make these choices, who you become becomes concretized. I don't think that's a word. Cemented. We'll just go with that.
Oh, you just decided to not use concrete but cement?
You already know, bro.
Your choices become asphalt. I ain't mad at it.
I mean, I'm concretized. I don't think is a word.
Doesn't matter. They got. How many times do I invent words?
Yeah.
I'd have just said that shit.
Come on now.
Concretized.
Just say it with your chest.
Okay.
Concretized.
There you go. Concretized.
So
actually
you
look it
know,
up?
when we sit here and we talk about this stuff, it's like, understand. That's my advice to young people in general. Like, what do? I feel lost. You're always gonna feel lost.
Now I know what happened, how my parents got the nice driveway that they got. The construction company did a little bit of concretization.
You don't know who you are. How do you want to guide yourself when you don't even know the direction you want to go in or where you're trying to get to? Of course you're gonna feel lost. I was feeling lost at that age too. I felt lost probably till I was 25. You know, and some people feel lost later.
Lucky.
Go ahead.
Lucky.
Right?
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Man, I was lost till I was maybe 33.
There you go. So
I had to find out about life real early. I didn't have the luxury of being lost that long. You know what I mean? I would say that I was lost in middle school, and sophomore year of high school, I knew exactly what time it was, and I was on my way. You know what I mean? Dead serious. Anybody that don't believe me, y'all can ask my parents.
when you guys are dealing with this stuff and you're having to make these difficult choices, just know that the only way for you to be, I'm good with who I am. I know me. I know what I like. I know a lot of stuff I don't like. Maybe I'll still learn a few things here and there, but I got a good idea. Okay? But I only know that because I tested my character in difficult situations, and I wanted to see if the values that I claim to love stood the test of that difficult situation.
See, and that right there, see where he is right there? That's literally exactly the same thing that I'm talking about. But at the same time, no, that applies to your relationship too, because that's what I'm talking about you and your relationship partner being able to survive the test of time. And the only way to do that, you know what I'm saying, is to remain close and to, be tolerant of each other, to be accepting of each other, and to support each other, and learn an experience curve with how to deal with each other appropriately in different situations. Like I said, man, Sam Vaknin said it's post-apocalyptic dating conditions out here. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Samuel said, y'all gonna die alone. And, my thing is, when in a situation where things are harder, the world has never been static, ever. It's never been static. The world has always only been dynamic. So it's just like any other ecosystem on the planet. When you have to deal with a dynamic environment, if you're the individual, the object, or the organism that has to navigate through it, through the duration of your existence, in order to perpetuate your existence, then you have to evolve. You have to adapt. You have to change. All right? You have to change. You have to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. All right? The same way that the business organism continues to thrive through a dynamic industry is the same way a biological organism will continue to thrive throughout a changing ecosystem. All right?
Was I going to compromise? And if I was, what does that mean about my values? Those are conversations you start having with yourself, right?
Excuse me.
To upgrade to 2.
I know I'll never steal. I've never stolen. I've been offered opportunities, great opportunities to make a lot of money via stealing. But instead of going in for that temptation, I resisted, even though it was right in front of my face. Easy, could have gotten away with it. That's how I knew, all right, that value is set in stone. I'm not going to do wrong by people just because it benefits me. Do you understand those kind of situations I'm talking about? So if you're a young person out there, go seek out adversity, whether it's a new job, new location, living it on your own.
And you know what? And see, the reason why I did this video, aside from the fact that, we get the little push with the algorithm, is because in my opinion, in this video, Abba and Preach are unofficially advocating for a philosophy and a practice of Stoicism, especially right here. All right, this is why it's important. This is why you have to watch the video on Stoicism, because right here with these things that Abba and Preach are saying about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to build character and in order to be uncomfortably comfortable, that's part of Stoicism. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the principles of Stoicism.
I value set in stone. I'm not going to do wrong by people just because it benefits me. Do you understand those kind of situations I'm talking about? So if you're a young person out there, go seek out adversity, whether it's a new job,
go seek out adversity,
living it on your own. All right, doing things that scare you. Those will define you as a human being.
There you go.
I think that's the kind of gist of it. And then with that, naturally, you'll be able to get comfortable around the opposite sex.
See?
Yeah. Let me rephrase that last part. It's not you get comfortable with the opposite sex. You'll have something to present to the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. After that, you got to have integrity enough to say, this is who I am, like me or don't, but this is what I'm about. All right? Because you're just you. You know who you are. You present that to the... Okay? So anyways, that was kind of just like the theory I had. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
No, it makes sense.
All right, let us know what you guys think.
I would like to see an Abba and Preach video about Stoicism. I think it would be very interesting. I think it would be really cool. You know what I mean? So the reason why I did this video is because a lot of their talking points mirrored a lot of the things that you all will see in my video about Stoicism. All right. And I think that that's very important because now we have to ask ourselves, what is the most superior method? Stoicism plus psychology, in my opinion, is superior to any pill ideology. Now, my question for you guys is, based on the information that I've presented thus far with people coming into contact with my content, do you agree or do you disagree? Make sure you leave it in the comments. Feel free to agree. Feel free to disagree. Everybody is welcome to the discussion. All right. And I will catch you all on the next video. Before I leave this video, make sure I like it because I like Abba and Preach. And make sure you smash the like button on mine. You see how I got that bell icon hit twice? Make sure you do that too. All right. I will catch y'all later.